Go yourself.
How did she get here? 48, angry, nasty, and just overwhelmed by bitterness. She has no kids. She's a very angry person. Not really qualified for any of it. Set in a microwave and just given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
And by the way, it's also my freedom of speech to say, go yourself, Harrison Butker. That's my freedom. I can do that. I'm not going to lose my job. And he should also have the right.
Here's what I find sad about what Beadle just said. And her persona, this angry person that she's become, this bitter and confused person that she's become, that's not who she was 12, 13, 14 years ago. And I blame social media for doing this to her. And social media did that. It turned her woke. She started performing for social media. She had to change her entire worldview. She had to limit her sense of humor, her self-deprecation, her willingness to be tolerant of people with other views because social media demands that. Not married, no kids. Couldn't someone call you bitter? I'm self-aware. You hear me talk on this show constantly. Man, I screwed that up. Man, because if you go listen to the podcast I did with Michelle Beadle or any of the Real Talk deal, I was so off into the promiscuous, secular world and just so off into stupidity that yes, I did not prioritize family and kids. And I come on this show and tell people, don't make that mistake. Trust me, it's the most important thing you can do. Michelle Beadle still lives in that world of denial, where she's telling Harrison Butker is giving women and men the greatest advice an adult can give young people. And Michelle Beadle, because she's taken on the performance of social media and been wrapped in that world and thinking for so long about how's this going to land on social media? Am I in alignment with what social media will reward? Am I in alignment with the feminist movement? She's screaming, go F yourself, to a man that has done nothing to her. This is sad. This is a tragedy. But this is what social media does to people. It's to lesser degrees or in different ways. It's done it to all of us. Jemele Hill. White people have bent over backwards, ushering Jemele Hill to a successful journalism career. But because she's on social media, and her shtick on social media is all white people are racist and I'm a victim, she can't acknowledge all the opportunities that white folks at the Detroit Free Press, white folks at the Orlando Sentinel, white folks at ESPN, and the best route is to turn bitter and nasty and a lack of self-awareness, no growth, no evolution. Social media played a role in that. She was not always this way. It's sad. She's important because I want to use her as an example of what social media and radical feminism and the radical feminism promoted on social media, what it can do to a human being. I'm going to lump Travis Kelce in on this as well. Here's a big football player that's headed to the Hall of Fame, and he's been turned into a wimp. And he's acting like Harrison Butker, a kicker on the Chiefs football team, has said something outrageous and outlandish by suggesting that Catholic women might find more joy and fulfillment in motherhood rather than sitting inside of a cubicle working for some corporate overlord. Oh, God, I just can't believe. And let me distance myself from it, but let me back into this and start with Travis Kelce.
Comes down to his views and what he said at the St. Benedict's commencement speech, those are his. I can't say I agree with the majority of it or just about any of it.
Yeah.
My household, my mother and my father both provided for our family, and both my mother and my father made home what it was. So they were homemakers and they were providers, and they were unbelievable at being present every single day in my life.
No doubt.
And I think that was a beautiful upbringing for me. Now, I don't think everyone should do it the way that my parents did, but I certainly and sure as hell thank my parents and love my parents for being able to provide and making sure that that home was what it was, because I'm not the same person without both of them being who they were in my life.
So Travis Kelce said a whole lot of nothing there because he has virtually no self-awareness. And that's not a personal attack on Travis Kelce. It's really an attack on the great wealth and fame and attention and adoration we pour on athletes. He has no reason to be self-aware. Kelce is a knucklehead. If you followed his career as closely as I have, he's probably been in the league 10 to 12 years, maybe a little bit longer. He's a knucklehead. If he were not 6'5", if he were not 255 pounds, he would not be a rich and successful person that anybody cared about, in my view. He would be a dumb jock who was short, 5'11". If he were normal size. The average height of an American man, I believe, is 5'10". 6'2" and above, that's like 12% of the population. Travis Kelce has athletic privilege. He hit the genetics lottery. Now he's rich and famous. Now he gets to pretend like he has some sort of mature, sophisticated perspective on the world. He does not. He can't even, again, because of the social media pressure, and he's thinking about how these words will land on social media, he has to take Harrison Butker out of context. Harrison Butker did not say women should not work outside the home. Harrison Butker just insinuated, or not insinuated, he told young women at St. Benedictine College, a Catholic college, that the Catholic faith leads him to believe and teaches him that the greatest fulfillment for a woman is being a mother.